It's moments like this that now last a lifetime. 30 years ago, you'd have to go to the local library for footage like this. Or how about the moment when a Hall of Fame player has his last moment in the sun, with a touching moment with his teammates? You as the fan watching can make a short video reaction about how you're feeling. You can join in on the discussion with hundreds of fans. And it's not just all because you guys are waiting for the D train to go home. It's all due to the fact that you're connected to the internet on a small app called Twitter, or more broadly stroked, social media. Sports teams and organizations have seen a decline in fan attendance. Teams have also increased the ticket prices in hopes of making back some of the lost revenue. But with a little Wi-Fi connection and internet access or 4G technology, fans can access these sporting events via their phones, tablets, computers, etc.
Davis first, ball hitting. Left field. It is deep. And goodbye. Home run. Chris Davis. A grand slam homer. He becomes just the fourth Major League player ever to homer in force.
In 2014, Pew Internet Research discovered that 74% of all internet users were on social media. That's right, 74%. And the new generation of internet users, ages 18 to 29, 89% of them were active users on social media. These numbers indicate that social media will grow. Companies are hiring internet and social media consultants for this reason. Brands recognize that 73% of sports fans are active during games on either Facebook, and 59% of them are uploading or searching the newest highlights on YouTube. Twitter is another major social media avenue for sports. Athletes, fans, brands use this 140-character messaging board to have fun, showcase their fandom by cheering on their team, and posting photos like this. Welsh Rugby Union used their Twitter account to rally fan support for their upcoming game. Twitter has become the go-to spot for breaking news and reaction. Sites like Grantland and Deadspin have joined the social media landscape. No longer do you have to wait till Sunday's newspaper to get your sports fix. And with less regulations for content, writers can speak with fans using, well, let's just put it nicely, off-color language. Titles like this aren't exactly uncommon. Are you noticing a pattern? Social media is young and it's fun. It's like college. It's like you've been gone back in time and it's carefree and no one's thinking. Users can take the moments like the 50 Cent's horrific first pitch at Citi Field and create short, humorous films.
There goes the runner. That one is looped in the air to short. And Guerrero going to go down to second. Vladdy's further proof he can hit anything
you throw up there.
Close enough.
They can compile these 6-second videos and clips, dub over some music, and make a film for millions to see. Social media and online entertainment have become such an avenue for fans, entertainers, and sports that the WWE released its own internet TV opportunity. Wrestling fans now have access to all things WWE, including pay-per-view events, matches, old matches, and blogging events. It's like an Ultimate Warriors fan's dream. Athletes love social media as well. Take Jasmine Johnson. Jasmine is a 2-time All-American gymnast at Temple University. Jazzy is one of the more active college students on Twitter with over 38,000 messages. She knows the importance of being active on social media and the role it plays for her and her followers on it.
I do like it a lot. I especially like using Twitter, but my favorite one has been YouTube. I get to upload my videos of my full routines and every competition that I do, and it's great to see how many likes I get.
For social media, you know, what anybody else does, I put out what's on my mind, what's happening. So especially with Twitter, you know, I try to be careful, you know, with posting about things like going out, because as an NCAA athlete, even though you're 21, you're still not allowed to say, like, I'm going out with my girls, you know, about to have a good time. So, you know, I have to be careful about what I'm going to post and be mindful that, you know, as younger kids follow me, especially with Facebook, I'll get friend requests from those kids, so, you know, you can't have inappropriate pictures on there. So, you got to keep it classy, you know, have pictures of you and your friends, you know, whether you guys are going out, you know, once again, don't take pictures, you know, with a solo cup or beer in your hand, you know. Have a nice glass of water, if you will, or have regular pictures. So just be mindful about what you post.
Social media gives players and athletes a brand and personality. They become more than just a player, but a fan gets to know who they are. If you look at several athletes such as LeBron James or Kevin Durant who have millions of followers, they're able to post regarding their personal lives and able to promote products that will reach a wide range of audiences.
Former Marlins and now Seattle Mariners baseball player Logan Morrison, Lomo as he's affectionately known, is one of the most active social media users in sports with over 14,000 tweets. Lomo's internet fame struck him in a marketing deal with a startup company called 22 Fresh. Fresh was looking for a face for its brand, and Lomo got the spokesman's fame. Or how about Lomo pushing Toyota's dealership in South Florida?
Thank you for coming to Toyota South Florida, Mr. Morrison.
Thanks. Where do I sign?
Right here, sir. And here. And here. Yeah, you know a good deal when you see one, don't you?
Get a deal. Still a commercial. I mean, Lomo's a career .250 hitter, and he's batting .213 this year. But it's his online voice that has made him attractive for major companies. Or how about NBA All-Star James Harden? With over 12,000 tweets and over thousands and thousands of followers, Harden's now doing Foot Locker commercials with Charles Barkley.
Charles, you got any advice for me on how to start the season off fresh?
Well, your new Foot Locker gear, that's a big part of it. Now you just need a short memory.
Short memory?
All the greats have short memories.
So when you had a bad game, you just forgot about it?
Never had a bad game.
You don't remember they used to call you the round mound rebound? Remember when you threw that guy through the window?
I'm a pacifist.
What about the time you...
Look, all I know is all the greats have short memories. Scottie Pippen knows.
I sure do. And I'm the greatest Chicago Bull of all time.
And that's how it's done.
But with recognition on the internet and on television come great expectations, and fans will be the first to let players know about it. Take former Jets quarterback Mark Sanchez. Sanchez's infamous butt fumble was a talk of ESPN for months, and Jet fans let Sanchez have it. Fans went so far as to issuing death threats to Sanchez. But Sanchez is not alone in this regard. Victor Cruz has received hateful messages, amongst other players in sports. It's this open-ended access that fans now have to players that in turn they feel as though they know these guys. They know what their life is like and are willing to say anything and everything to them, regardless of the nature.
From my personal experience, I've gotten nothing but positive things out of it. Others have, like such as my friends, they've got negative experience. I do believe fans get a little too crazy. It's easy to hide behind a computer screen and say how they feel about an athlete not performing up to their level, but I don't think the fans really take into account that, we all have bad days and good days. But for me personally, my fans that contact me, they're very, very nice. And plus, my sport is mainly little kids, because we're the next step for the Olympics. And, for those little kids that can't make it to the Olympics, they look up to us, and for them to, send me little inbox messages saying, it's okay that you fell, you had a bad day, but you're still amazing, I think they just do a great job there. But, like I said before, it can happen pros and cons, and, they'll get you with the cons, and they're just very, very rude, and they can take it a little bit too far. So I feel like sometimes social media isn't really too good for the fans and for us to try to respond back to them, because we have to be nice to them and say, even though they mean things about us, we have to keep her cool and, be like, I'm sorry that, I didn't perform up to your expectations, maybe next game.
The only ones putting their proverbial foot in their mouth, athletes have fallen victim to social media's open-ended messaging board as well. Anything they post nowadays is open for interpretation and for us to see. One player who's been scrutinized more than any other athlete this year is the former Texas A&M quarterback and now Cleveland Brown QB, Johnny Manziel. In college, the former Heisman Trophy winning QB got away with tweets like this. But when Cleveland made Manziel the 6th overall pick, he was expected to, grow up. And not so much. Instagram photos of Manziel partying and rolling up $20 bills went viral online. Fans began to worry about Manziel if he was, quote-unquote, ready to lead an NFL team. People were so much on Manziel's case that he had to come out and publicly defend himself.
I knew going into it that I can't go anywhere without people knowing that I'm there or tweeting or doing whatever that I'm there. So I'm used to it by now, and fair, unfair, whatever it may be, that's my life. I don't live my life according to you guys or according to what other people think of me. I'm going to live my life to the fullest and continue to be committed to this game and committed to what I need to be doing here, and trying to earn my place in this locker room with these coaches, with this organization. And if I want to go out and have some fun and it doesn't hinder what my main goals in life are, then I don't really care what anybody has to say.
The Twitter accounts and the Instagram accounts, it basically becomes a mirror of who you are. I think the social media outlets only magnify who you truly are on the inside. You know, you're saying things that, you know, your agent can't sugarcoat, or you're taking pictures of what you're doing, and your agent or your personal, what do they call it, the people that, the personal, the PR team can't sugarcoat it. So when you eliminate that person, a lot of these guys get exposed because they really are not as polished as we would assume or hope them to be.
Take North Alabama, which kicked a player off its team for calling President Barack Obama an N-word on Twitter. North Alabama cited his dismissal as a poor reflection on the program. Recently, Penn State offensive line coach Herb Hand made a similar decision. Hand and the Penn State coaching staff rescinded an unnamed football player's recruitment due to his conduct on social media. Hand was so disgusted that he issued this tweet following their recruitment dismissal, offering the statement, "I'm actually glad I got to see the real person before we offered." College football coach Sean Connerly completely agreed with Hand's decision.
Personally, as a coach, one of the first things you want to establish for your team is a sense of identity, a sense of culture, and a sense of expectation. And in today's world, social media is part of that. That expectation is part of that certain culture, and certain that you have to keep in mind. So if a player does violate a certain expectation or a certain culture, a certain part of the mindset that you want to have for your team, then that player should be dealt with according to how egregious the penalty was.
But it's not just athletes making these mistakes. No, it's coaches and owners as well. In 2013, Rutgers basketball coach Mike Rice was seen physically and verbally abusing his players in a video that went viral. Rice was subsequently fired from Rutgers University. We also saw an incident of quote-unquote bullying play out online, when NFL offensive lineman and former Miami Dolphin Jonathan Martin was abused by teammate Richie Incognito. The internet went wild. When nothing was done, fans persecuted the Dolphins organization to the point where the Dolphins had to react. The Dolphins finally suspended and released Incognito after weeks of pressure from fans on social media. Even as recently as August of 2014, Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones fell victim to social media. Jones was caught with what we'd say lewd photos of young women, and it was posted on Instagram and Twitter. Jones has yet to release a statement about this, but for his personal looks, it doesn't look good. So one has to wonder, is social media good for sports? And as a sports fan, what needs to be done to make sure that we are not abusing the power of social media?
In America, we glorify drama, but then we criticize it as if that's not actually what we want, right? So like, we say we don't want people, fighting and doing all these sorts of things, but then you look at reality TV, and I say reality TV in quotes, that's all we're promoting. We promote drama, we promote negativity, but then we don't want people doing that. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? It's like a double-edged sword. You know, it's a gift and a curse, as you said. But like, I think we have to stop. We have to redefine what it means to be a role model. And I think, with these social media outlets, like we're highlighting only one story. We're telling one story. We're not telling the whole story of what people.
we do need to do something. We do need to make a change. We need to be more effective with how we interact with social media. All my guests brought up a great point and bring up great observations. How social media has really changed both good and bad the way we view things. I mean, players are now more in the limelight. They're able to promote products. Companies recognize that. I mean, we've got Logan Morrison earlier in the story, how he's representing 22 Fresh. Dwayne Wade's got sponsorships. And these guys use their social media avenues to connect with people. It's a great marketing ploy. But we've also seen the downside, the negative. We've seen players basically lose their scholarships, lose their careers for actions on and off the field that are recorded on social media. We need to learn more about this as this business grows. And obviously, we're still in the beginning stages, but the pros totally outweigh the cons, especially as athletes. As an athlete, you've got to look at it as a great way to market yourself. Earlier on in the discussion, Brant brought up a great point. It's given people an avenue. It's a face. A lot of these sports, it's hard to recognize players. They're either wearing hats and helmets, or they're so far away you can't really see them. But once they get on social media and once they get on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, you're able to recognize who that player is, what their talents are, and what they bring to the table. And that's the best part about social media, is it allows players to remove their helmets. It allows them to connect with the fans. It allows them to become somebody. Not just a player on the field, not just a millionaire, not just the guy who's scoring touchdowns and hitting home runs. Now, this is a regular person who's got a family, he's got friends, he's got community that he likes to interact with. And until we start promoting and pushing the good that they do, some of the negatives, will run rampant on the internet, and will block out a lot of the good that's done. Recently, we saw Ray Rice have the same situation. I'm not condoning what he did. What he did was egregious, where he basically physically and verbally abused his to-be wife. But Ray Rice has done a lot of good in the community. But that's not really recognized on social media. So until then, until we learn more about this, until athletes learn to project themselves better, until we start to promote the good of social media, we're going to see a lot of negative, and the negative is going to run. But after evaluating this story and evaluating social media and its effect it's had on sports, I'm here to clearly state, and I firmly believe that social media has been excellent for sports, excellent for athletes, and it can only continue to get better, especially when PR firms and industries and athletes become more accustomed to the connections they have with players.